People in the waiting room. Hey, everyone. Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Hey, Rebecca. How's it going, guys?
Everybody. Good to see you, Jeff. Hi, Karen. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Oh, thanks for coming again, Laura.
Yeah, happy to see you all.
Yeah. I know Lupe, our program coordinator, will also be joining in a little bit. And then we had some families too that are joining. How's everyone doing? Happy Wednesday.
Doing good. I'm getting ready to head down to Jacksonville tomorrow. So
That's fun.
yeah, I'm doing a speaking engagement. So
Yay, that's fantastic.
Exciting, Jeff.
yep. And my dad's going with me. So
Oh, good.
well, given all that's been going on and stuff, it's I just think it was appropriate. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, wonderful. Hi, Lupe.
Hi, Lupe.
Hi guys. Hello.
hey, Lupe.
Group are you speaking to, Jeff?
Oh yeah, Lupe, you haven't met Jeff in person yet.
No, I have not. I always see him at the lunch and learn, so.
We love it.
Okay, Lupe, have you met Shelly before?
Shelly.
We've met a couple times. I feel like I was there maybe on your first day was when we had lunch.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were working out of the Southwestern Yacht Club. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was my first day. Yep.
Wow, I can't believe that was March 1st, everyone. It's already May.
Oh, wow.
2 months.
I can't believe it's May. It's
Where's the time fly?
yes. Yeah. We just started talking to all of our families about their summer schedules, which felt like it was too soon, but our kids are gonna be on summer break next month, which is so wild.
Insane.
Yeah. I'm excited for an influx of summer interns, hopefully. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then I'll just welcome people as they come in. So hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to our 77th Lunch and Learn. A couple Zoom rules. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view. Presentation, video sharing is optional. Please type all questions and comments into the chat. This is a pretty small group, so you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions too. We love to hear your direct feedback as you think of it, or if you type it in the chat, I can read it out for you as well. I'll be monitoring that. A quick update from Autism Tree. We have now reached over 676,000 through all of our social media channels. This is LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We do it all. Thanks to Lupe and my amazing interns. We update our social media every single day. So that's a great way to keep involved in Autism Tree and what's going on. We've done 76 lunch and learns to date. Today is number 77. So we'll be posting this tomorrow on our YouTube channel. Since January 2022, the beginning of this year, we've already coordinated 57 events and have 25 coming up between now and the end of the year, but we constantly add events every week and every month. We send out a monthly e-newsletter that'll have all of those events, and that will come out during the mid-month. So if you want to stay in contact, please subscribe, or also just subscribe onto our newsletter. We are offering 19 programs virtually and 5 are currently in person. We have adaptive dance. We just transferred Lego therapy to be in person, as well as musical play group, which I'm so excited for those with little kiddos. Families new to the autism diagnosis. Musical play group is early intervention based, and it's for kids ages 0 to 7. That will be hosted by the Music Therapy Center of California at their new office. So keep a lookout for that for May. We also have posted 450 videos on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. 389 of those videos were posted since March. So it has just been growing. That consists of our lunch and learns, our neuroscience conference playlist. We have like 7 or 8 different playlists of different video resources for all of our families. And it's been an incredible journey since March 12th, and we will continue to grow you know, in the next few years and beyond. A special thank you to our Lunch and Learn sponsor, CalABLE. CalABLE is a groundbreaking financial savings and investment state program that helps you save money. If you have a child who's age 26 or younger, you're eligible to open up a CalABLE account. You can go to their website. We also send a recap email after this Lunch and Learn, and it'll go out this Friday with links to this video as well. It's a 5-minute video, so we're not going to show it today, but you can definitely watch it, and I highly recommend it to learn more about what CalABLE is and how you can join. They also have a financial literacy webinar series that they do once a month. So the next one is May 18th, so mark your calendars for that. Quick disclosure. And without further ado, I'll pass it off to Dana Hoff, our co-founder and volunteer executive director, who will be introducing our guest speaker.
Thank you, Rebecca. So nice to be here with everybody. And Rebecca, I can only see you on the screen.
I know, sorry.
You able to put me up?
I think for some reason, I can't highlight you. Sorry, having some tech difficulties. We can see you though.
Okay, I can only see you. Okay. Well, anyway, it's so nice to be here, you guys. I really, I always think it's no accident, the sequence that everything happens in. And I feel like we're kicking off Mother's Day month, and it's exciting. I haven't been to the Bay Area to see our partners and family up there. Thank you, Rebecca. I got it now.
Perfect. Keep going.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So we're really excited to go see our partners and families. We're doing a parent mentor event next week in San Jose, or the following week. Yeah, next week in San Jose for the first time since before the pandemic. Rebecca's been with Autism Tree 5 years, right, B?
Mm-hmm.
5 years, and this is going to be her first time going to the Bay Area and working with me up there. And so I'm very excited about it. And yeah, it feels like a lot because I'll be gone for 2 weeks, and I'm not used to having that muscle memory of traveling like I used to all the time. So it's really, I think, special that we can be together and just kind of reflect on how much we've built new muscles during the pandemic. And I think Shelly is going to really cover some of the things that I'm feeling of, just like when you haven't been at the same pace, but your pace has been different, and kind of how to get at least a hybrid going, right, Shelly? So, you know, I can't say enough about how much I feel like we've accomplished during the pandemic together as a community, and how much we've each grown from it. And also that I think we will continue to do everything as a hybrid because we value so much being able to have that connection more frequently with people that we wouldn't normally because of Zoom. So Jeff, again, I want to say how much we appreciate getting to see you every week, where before the pandemic, we saw you a couple times a year, maybe, right? So it's exciting. Rebecca and I are going to be talking after today, later today, we're going to be working on the neuroscience conference. And I just want to share with you what a way that has opened up our global reach. I just can't express how mind-blowing it is when you truly make a quantum leap. This would be it. I mean, before the pandemic, we worked since 2013 on a neuroscience conference to have a heart connection between our families and these brilliant researchers. And so because of it, we never ever recorded the conference. It was very much 400 people in a theater here on what they refer to as Miracle Coast, where all the neuroscience is done here in La Jolla. And so when we recorded it on UCTV, we've had now over 71,000 views. This is considered incredible. And even when we got our first stats, Todd and I had just gone to see Garth Brooks here at Petco Park, and that was crazy. He hadn't performed since before the pandemic. And so Todd was like, wow, we had more viewers from the get-go, the first stats we got, than Garth Brooks had at his concert. And I really loved that analogy. I thought that was really, Like really, when you think about it, that's rock star for us to go from 400 to more people viewing than we're at Garth's Books concert here in San Diego. So we're working hard to get this year's conference going. And Roger Bingham, our moderator, is going to be on a call with us with the CEO of Kennedy Krieger Institute. And I just share that with you because I love the connections that we make and the community we're building. I've been to Kennedy Krieger a few times now, and I was actually introduced to the CEO from Dr. Doris Tronner, who helped me start Autism Tree. They're colleagues. They're both in pediatric neurology. And then Roger knew Bradley Schlager from when he was a young guy starting out. He worked in labs here in Salk Institute. So I'm just sharing it because our community is fully incredible and it's growing all the time. And the thread that makes Autism Tree is 100% heart connection. That is what we run on. And that is the essence of Autism Tree. And I think it's a perfect segue, Shelley, to introduce you, because since the day I met you, I definitely had a heart connection to you. And really, it was watching you fall in love with your husband. I think it's just the funnest history that Shelley, I keep her in my phone as Michelle. No, what do I have you in there? Shelley Rose Easterseal. Yeah. I keep her in my phone like that because it gives me this instant memory of her at an event Linda Townsend put together. I think it was during the month of February, wasn't it, Shelley? Because it was like a Valentine's thing and guys and girls could come. Yeah. I mean, Shelley and Justin, who she's now married to, and having a baby boy soon. She's halfway there. A baby. I got to watch them fall in love that night. And that's why I like keeping you in my phone as Shelley Rose. So Shelley, it's been a huge blessing for me to watch you grow into a power woman that you are. You're glowing. You can only see how happy Shelley is to be carrying her first baby boy. And I just consider all the work you do with children on the autism spectrum such a blessing. And having you be part of Autism Tree's board is really, really special because of the dynamic that you worked with some of our board members' children. And you always can bring forth something to our board, which is more of like from what you see with so many families, where a lot of us, have children with autism, but you really have this heartbeat for all children with autism. And so having you on our board is very important and special, and having you here today to help guide us in how to kind of get our muscles back. What do we do to get back out in the world after being in lockdown for so long and kind of still living this hybrid life? And so thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. And please know that we reuse these videos with our families constantly. So this is a huge resource for us to also have this tape today, this session with you. So thank you for being here, Shelley.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. I love everything about Autism Tree. Like Dana had said, my husband and I have been involved with Autism Tree since we started dating. So that was 10 years ago, and just never looked back. So as Dina had mentioned, I am a board certified behavior analyst. I'm currently the regional director of an ABA company here in San Diego. So when they had asked me to speak, I thought this was a great opportunity. Let me share my screen. So something that I come across a lot with a lot of our families, since we've kind of reemerged back into the world as post-pandemic life, there we go, is families that are having a lot of questions of now what? Right? We're returning to this, like what we're calling normal, which isn't actually ever something that we're ever experiencing of whatever this like normal life is. But now that we're able to kind of go out and have more activities and do more things with our kids, and there's more things that are available, how do we set our kids and our adults and even ourselves up for success in these environments that we haven't been in 2 years? Feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself if you have any questions kind of as I'm going through this. I'd be happy to answer them as we go, especially because we've got a smaller group today. All right. So the first thing that can be super helpful, what we call priming. So priming is giving our kids a heads up of what's to come. So what that could look like is this first image of like a schedule of events. Our kids haven't been to birthday parties in person in probably 2 years, if not maybe more. And just birthday parties in general can be overwhelming, let alone when you haven't had exposure for so long. So here's an example of like, it breaks down what that's going to look like. Oh, there's going to be lots of kids there. We're going to eat pizza. We're going to go bowling, letting them know what to expect. I know, for myself, for any novel event or thing that I'm going to, it puts me personally at ease to know what to expect, what I'm walking into, so then I can feel more prepared. And then I'm less stressed or filled with anxiety about what that situation is going to be like. The same thing for any of our kids and young adults. Another great thing that we can do that falls under priming is using visuals. So even if it's that now you get to go to the grocery store and now we're bringing our kids because we're not ordering groceries online anymore. And it's been a really long time since you brought your kids to the grocery store, looking at pictures of the grocery store. Hey, we're going to go to the grocery store today. And these are the things that we're going to buy. I need you to help me look for. We need apples and avocados and whatever's on your list, but then showing them a picture of what that environment actually looks like to kind of give them a heads up. This is also super helpful for some of our kids that are not as verbal. So we're using less language as well. So we're not overwhelming them with that excessive information, but providing pictures as a prompt or as a visual of what we have planned for the day is also super helpful. And then another thing that's really great, and I'm seeing this more and more, which is so wonderful, is videos. So there are doctors' offices, even local ones here in San Diego, dentist offices, even museums. I know the Children's Museum is actually in the process of working on one that has videos of what it looks like to go to the dentist, what it looks like to go to the museum, and it's at that actual location. So we're able to show that to our kids. So they're narrated, and it's often with a kiddo in the video. So this one that I found is a little kid walking through the dentist's office, and they're showing exactly what's happening at the dentist. Again, so our kids can have a heads up and they know what's going on before we get there, and everything is new and scary, especially at the dentist. I feel that way myself. Another thing that we can do is practice. Role playing is always super fun. This bottom picture I love with two little girls like playing ice cream shop. Practicing what it's going to look like, what our choices are going to be, what we're going to order. Oh, I could get mint chip ice cream, or you could get chocolate chip ice cream, and having them practice. And even sometimes practicing with items that that are going to be in that situation. So for example, the dentist, post, during pandemic, the dentist is always challenging for kids and young adults and adults. Is they have like super inexpensive like dentist tools that you could order online that are like the picks and have the mirrors and that are metal, that you could practice with your kids at home so that they're able to touch it and feel it, and it's not so scary and it's not novel. And then maybe they're able to use it with their teddy bear and give their teddy bear a teeth cleaning. So they've had that practice themselves. So it's, again, not this brand new foreign experience to them when they're doing it for the first time at the dentist. Another great thing that we're seeing a lot that we're able to start doing again is actually going to that location prior to the event and visiting it and practicing. So, maybe you're going to a bowling alley for some event for the first time, and it's super loud and there's all kinds of new stimuli going on and there's lots of people. And so going there maybe like a week or a couple weeks before the event and kind of talking through, oh, okay, this is what it's going to be like. This is what it's going to sound like. These are the people that are going to be there. So that then when the event happens, it's much less stressful and there's not as much novel things happening that we're dealing with on top of the stress of this event that we have to get to and all of the other things that come along with it. It also is really wonderful. Doctors have been able to open up their offices again to allow kids to do this as well. So if you have, your kid hasn't been to the doctor in 2 years, we've been doing like telehealth visits, right? So reaching out to their doctor or their dentist, or where they're getting a haircut, and seeing if you can schedule time for them to just come in, sit in the waiting room, see what that's like. We've had a lot of doctors that have been able to let kids go back into a room and sit in the room and hang out and practice what that experience is going to be, even meet the doctor. So they're not this brand new scary person this kid hasn't seen in a really long time. Is also really, really wonderful and super, super helpful for those experiences that we haven't done in a long time, or that you might only do once a year, to get them feeling more comfortable.
Shelly, I just wanted to say that Jeff has been typing in the chat and he's giving a couple examples that I wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah, of course.
So Jeff said that, like, a priming example, he says that when he has a speaking engagement, he usually drafts up an itinerary of how the engagement is going to go from the beginning of the trip to the end of the trip and everything in between. We also do that at our events at Autism Tree, like a little production schedule, just play by play. And then he says practicing, like role playing wise, an example of that would be similar. It's similar to school safety drills and assemblies, something that he's super passionate about, taking the edge off for our families with autism. So practicing those in schools too.
Yeah, 100%, Jeff. I totally agree. And that's a great example. And especially with school drills. Oh my gosh, the fire drills. 100%. I totally agree. Thank you for that. All right, let's see if I can find my mouse. There we go. All right. So another one would be to just be able to provide choices. There's going to be certain things and activities that we're not able to change, right? We have to go to the doctor. You have to go back to school in person, right? We, are going to start tutoring. So we have to go meet this new person to have extra support. We don't get a choice in some of those events. However, we can be able to provide a sense of choice in those activities that we don't have a choice. And that could be as easy as, for example, like walking into a new room or going into a new building. All right, well, do we want to walk there or do you want to tiptoe? Right? Making it fun and exciting of how we're going to move towards that non-preferred activity, but we're going to get there in a really fun way. Or with an event, right? All right, well, do you want to wear this blue shirt or do you want to wear your red shirt? Being able to provide choices around, again, what you can control. Another example of like bringing a snack. What do you want to bring for snack? Do you want to bring this or do you want to bring this? One thing with choices is we do want to make sure that you're not providing too many. I use the example all the time with my families of like, if you've ever been to Cheesecake Factory, their menu, and there's 150 different options, and you can order Asian food or Italian food or American food, and it's super overwhelming. I personally don't like eating there for that exact reason. The same thing with any other choice. If we provide too many choices or just too much language, it's really overwhelming. But just providing like 2-3 choices can really be helpful. And again, like build in that sense of control around areas that we really don't have any choice in or any control. And then another one is identify reinforcers. So what that looks like is making a list of activities that you or your child really love to do, and then being able to provide them choices as to what's available following this like non-preferred or new activity that you're doing in the community. And then lastly, we want to really make sure that they're able to choose. So if we're saying, hey, you know what? Oh, we're going to this birthday party at the bowling alley, and I know, it's not really something we want to do, but we're going to go for X, Y, and Z reasons. And then afterwards, do you want to go for ice cream or should we go for a bike ride? So we're giving those preferred activities and setting them up right after. so that they're able to have like a reward or a thing to look forward to that then makes that less preferred or kind of scary new experience a lot easier. I mean, I use this with myself all the time, like even if I'm working, if I have like some big project to do, I'll set aside time and be like, all right, I'm going to sit down and really do this project that I don't really want to do. But afterwards, I'm going to go to the beach with my dogs. And so then it makes that non-preferred or scary activity or overwhelming activity a lot more enjoyable. It makes me want to get it done versus put it off because I've set that up for myself that like, all right, after this thing that I don't want to do, I get to do this really awesome thing, which I love, is take my dogs to the beach. And if we really think about it, this is how all of our lives work in general, right? I mean, I love my job, love my job, would do it for almost no money, but would I do it for no dollars all the time? No, probably not. So there are and I get a paycheck, right? So there are these built-in reinforcers to our day of almost every moment as to, you know, we do this thing and then we get this awesome thing. So it's something to also take into consideration as we're building out our days, we're building out our kids' days to help them be more successful. Here are some examples of reinforcers for some kids. It could be riding your bike, playing video games, doing bubbles, Play-Doh. I know I gave the example, like for myself, I love going to the beach and taking my dogs. As Dana had mentioned, I am pregnant, so sometimes a nap is really reinforcing for me. So that's, again, something that I schedule for myself. And it's just good self-care in general as an adult, just setting that up for yourself.
Rest is so important.
Yes, yes, it is. And then once we've set up those reinforcers of then when we're going to implement it using what we call in ABA, the PreMac Principle, or like the grandma's principle. So setting up that highly preferred activity after that community outing. All right, well, first we're going to go to the grocery store, but then after you can ride your bike. The reason why they call this the grandma's principle is that you often hear a grandma or a grandparent say it, well, first you eat your peas, then you can have ice cream, right? They have it right the whole time. And really, this is the last slide that I've got, is just hang in there. We're all doing this together. We're all reintegrating back into the world post lockdown, post pandemic, you know, whatever that looks like. We're all trying to navigate what that is. And, you know, we're all in it together, and we'll get through it.
Thank you so much, Shelly. That was so helpful.
Good. I'm so glad.
Especially, I'm just thinking for everybody in our community, like not just, you know, our parents and our kids with autism, but everybody, and for their wellness and well-being. As a person of anxiety, I can definitely like apply a lot of these principles to even just calm the anxiety. So I love it. This is amazing. I saw people typing in the chat. Thanks, everyone. A few more tips, and I love all of the examples, Shelly, that you gave were just spot on. Jeff said he also looks at the menu online ahead of time, so he knows exactly what he can select before going to the restaurant. That's super.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would help my Cheesecake Factory anxiety for sure.
Yeah. And then Laura says she does that a lot with her 2 adult kids. She looks at menus online before going to restaurants. It takes the quick edge of expectation off of them and lets them still be independent and engaged when ordering. Yeah, definitely. Angie asked if the slides can be emailed to her. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Michelle, would you just email it to me? And Angie, we're going to send out a recap email on Friday that has all of the resources that Michelle has. It'll include her slideshow and a recording of this as well. So you can go back and watch it as well, which I'll be sending to everybody. Awesome. I'd love to hear anybody else's examples of what they do to kind of reward themselves. I loved the example of scheduling naps, Shelley. That's a good one. Does anybody else have anything they want to share that they do? Jeff, go ahead.
Well, of course, with my day job and stuff, it's it's a very, very stressful environment. So, I try to, reward myself. If I get through the day, then I'll go on my PlayStations, or go on my laptop, or go for a walk, or whatever. So that's one example right there. And Shelley, as I post in the chat, but we have a lot in common when it comes to doing what we love to do. I mean, what you do you wish you get paid every time for your services? No. Same with me. I mean, I sometimes do speaking engagements that are pro bono, and sometimes I'll do them that are paid. So that's one thing I have, in common, and that's one thing that we have in common. And then also, everything you said, I look at menus online, and it's always a good idea to know ahead of time that you're going to have. It's important to know what is ahead of you than having, say, something sprung out at you. I mean, like, I know that's something. There are some things that are, beyond our control, or things that we have to change to the last minute. But yeah, I mean, those are, everything I mentioned is what I do, because I always try to live up to a personal standard, and that includes, having game plans and all that. So, and I think it's a good idea that maybe kids and families can start building that kind of self-standard with what we're talking about right here. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Laura says, you're a great role model, Jeff. I agree. Great. A few tips that I do, that I've been doing lately, has been to go to La Jolla Beach area. There's this one, it's off of Nautilus Street. I just know where it is now, but I visit that right after work I'd say once or twice a week. When I have any stressful days or something, it's nice to just watch the sunset after work, which is a good one. But yeah, I liked yours, Jeff, too. Those activities are good. I know Dana's kind of an expert at this. I've learned a lot from Dana.
Thank you for that, Rebecca. I definitely learned all my tricks from having ABA for so long, which is what Shelley does. So that was not new for me, Shelley, but also kind of validating that, like, when I just look at what I'm doing to go for the trip, I actually probably drive everyone crazy, because I naturally screenshot everything. And before, screenshotting in ABA meant you had to take your camera, get the film developed, and laminate them. If you came, to our house when we had ABA, there was little laminated things all over our house. Some of it was already part of a system that existed, and some of it wasn't. But that way, when Garrett was little and we were doing the ABA program, we would take it off of Velcro, right? And and then I think put it on the schedule of the day. But now it's kind of like with iPhones, I still sort of do that as an adult. And with everyone I know, I'm screenshotting them, what's coming up next. I just did that to Laura, who's a board member that is helping me coordinate everything in the Bay Area. I screenshotted her all the things we're doing up there and reservations, because she had lost it. And that's kind of how I roll about, especially when I'm traveling. I have everything in pictures, like the hotel I'm staying at, the restaurant we're going to, the car show that's happening. It's all in there. And I think I learned a lot that I don't even realize. So it's nice that you brought that up, Rebecca. I was honestly laughing, thinking if I could, I would go back to what I had in my kitchen when Garrett was little. And we did do a video right before the school closed. Garrett was home and we made a video for Autism Tree. And it's like having a poster size schedule in your kitchen on an easel. And then you can just cross off what you went through. I mean, I would still love to have that every day. I just like the idea of it being colorful and me like just knowing. And I still go to Staples and buy as huge as calendar as they have, and I write on it. And I just like doing that.
Yeah.
It just kind of, I think it feels good when you see that you accomplish something. It makes you feel like, okay, I'm stressed out, but I'm still functioning.
Yeah, 100%. And so, I mean, we do still have a lot of kids that use like the Velcro and the laminated stuff. And I personally love to laminate. I think it's like soothing for me. But there are now a ton of really cool apps for tablets that you can put together like a social story or put together like a visual schedule and then like cross it off on the app, but it's all, you just take pictures and it's all digital, which is really cool for those high tech people that want to go that route. There's lots of things available for that.
That really lights me up that you like laminating. Makes me feel like, oh, okay, still happening.
I love it.
I realized, I think I've said this on one of our lunch and learns at some point, but I did realize that when I was new to ABA and I was trying to figure out how to have Garrett not have such traumatic days all the time, that the two biggest things I learned is one, to look in the mirror. If I'm stressed, then he's stressed. That was very humbling and very real thing that I started realizing. And the other thing was that I'm responsible as a parent to make sure that I do everything possible to set ourselves up for success. And all those things you talked about were so powerful, of just going and seeing the doctor beforehand, going in, practicing where you're going to go bowling or what have you. And I really learned that honestly the hard way by going to birthday parties and not preparing, and it being a complete and utter disaster and very traumatic for all of us, including the people's house that had the party. And a lot of it was sequencing. I remember it was just, it's funny. I always like to give people their present right away. Like here, like it doesn't matter what it is. And it comes from the trauma of Garrett not wanting to wait. Because a birthday party can take a long time, or sometimes the people don't even open the present. And I just feel like that's so hard for a little person. And so as a result, if you see me, I'm usually like, open your present as a way to like not have to have that memory of like, when you keep building up, it's like, it just gets to be a point where it's almost like torturing the little kid, like if they want to give a present or open their present, why not let them? I don't know. Personally, I don't like to torture people for any reason, really. There's sometimes where instant gratification's okay, right, Shelly, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, totally. And I think the other thing too, is that you could do all of the things right? You could do like all of the recommendations, all the things, and show up, and it could still be a hot mess express when you get there, right? Something that, I talk with my parents about, I talk with my friends about, like just a conversation of like, you just have to, especially in this like post-pandemic world where things have been like so out of our control for so long in the pandemic, is like in those moments, like you also just have to like check out the wins, right? Today may have been terrible and I may have gone to that birthday party and my kid had a meltdown and X, Y, and Z things happened. However, when it was time to leave, my kid gave his best friend a high five. And that was the win for the day, right? And really celebrating whatever the win is. Or like, today was so awful at work. All of these things came up. I didn't do a great job with this. I didn't handle this very well. However, this is a big one for me. I hopped off the computer and stopped working today at 7 p.m. And that is a win. And I will take that. And that'll carry me to tomorrow. And I'm going to start again. And it's going to be fine. But I think also like a big thing is just like celebrating those wins that are happening despite what else happened throughout the day, and celebrating them with ourselves and with our kids and with our friends of like, you know what, it's fine. Tomorrow's going to be better. No problem.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm. I love your positivity, Shelley.
Thank
Very
you.
refreshing. I love it. It keeps us going. Angie said, do you know of a specific app for a digital virtual calendar?
I don't, but you know what? I can dig around. I have a couple resources, and what I mentioned, so like for the apps for like visual schedules and social stories, I can I can send those links to Rebecca and she can send that out. And then I can also look and see if I can find anything for digital calendars. I know that they have them. But I don't really have any specific resources I could just share off the top of my head. But yeah, I can find some and we can have Rebecca send those out.
Yay. Thank you, Shelley.
Of course.
Awesome. What do you use the most when you work with kids, or your ABA therapists work with kids, like visually? Do they do the digital, or do they do the, physical?
Yeah, it kind of depends. It depends on the family and what their preference is. It depends on the kid. Like we have, in the world of technology, there's so many kids that are so savvy on technology that are much more savvy than I am. So we have some kids that prefer that, whereas other families might prefer to not have something on technology because then it leads to wanting to play games or wanting to cruise the internet, and that can lead to other problems. Or some of our younger kiddos, we really like that like tactile of them like taking off a picture and putting it on their schedule. So it's kind of a good mix of both. Personally, I like the old school like tactile stuff. I make lists for myself. I mean, if you think about visuals like Post-its, I use Post-its everywhere. Like Post-its are a good visual for myself. Versus having to like get into my phone or get onto the computer and do something that way. So it's a pretty good mix across the board with all of our families.
Yeah, good to know. So I know Jeff just typed in all of his public speaking, his website. You can check it out.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, Jeff.
So, any other questions anybody has for Shelley? And also as a reminder, we can, if you have any questions, or anybody who's watching from home and watching at a later date, you can send me questions directly. You can email me at rebeccab@autismtreeproject.org, and then I can forward them to Shelley if you ever need any guidance or advice. Shelley, you're so amazing and getting back to me so quickly and like helping out our families. And I refer families to Shelley all the time. So thank you, Shelley, for being such an amazing resource and just a guiding light for our families.
Thank you so much. And I love doing it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, Laura says, can we have a group photo, please?
I just love that, Laura. You rock that you reminded us. That's the first time in 76 Lunch and Learns I recall that has never happened until now.
It's a tradition.
Yeah, you just gonna put your screen on that note, brushing my hair.
If you want to include, turn on your cameras, we welcome it. We love to see everybody's smiles. It's totally up to you though. I'll do a screenshot in a little bit, do a countdown. Ready? Big smile. Oh, yay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Shelley.
Thank you, Shelley.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
You're growing baby. We can't wait to meet your little boy. Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.
We'll see you on Wednesday.